Hey everyone, it's Will here with Flow Trade Effects. I'm bringing you guys a new video. This is going to be a breakdown of my most recent trades, and this is going to be from 5/20/2022. Let's see. So today I took a few trades in the USDCHF, and I also took one trade with the CADJPY. Ended up losing the CADJPY trade, and I ended up with two successful USDCHF trades. So today we're going to be going into my reasonings for why I took these trades specifically. And then, yeah, you all know how it goes. Bear with me while I minimize this little screen behind me and focus directly on the charts. All right, cool. So here, we'll start with the CADJPY since I lost this trade. Ultimately, price had been moving from a nice trend. It was, well, I wouldn't say specifically nice, but I guess the market had been going up for several days and then transitioned from a uptrend to a downtrend once price started breaking the lower lows and started to make higher or lower highs and started to make lower lows, ultimately breaking through those lower areas and dropping and creating newer support levels. Actually, that lined up with previous support levels here. And then ultimately, price kind of just came back up to retest this area right here. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little line so you guys can also see that price did in fact come back up to retrace back into this area, offering a successful trade opportunity from this level. But I was not present during that time. My trade actually happened within this smaller range here, in which I noticed that price came down from heavy momentum, started creating lower highs off of these lower highs here, and then it even created a lower low from this area right here. But ultimately, the support level is around the same, and I noticed that in hindsight, but either way, it was a pierce below. And before that, or after that shortly, price came back up into here trading just below this resistance area that was created here. So I seen that as a potential um, new swing high that was happening here off of this one here. And I figured, you know what, if there was that much momentum coming in the market here, and then this level seems to be holding along with this large momentum here, then I got my trading opportunity here once I seen the engulfing happen off of this level, and I placed a stop just a pip or so above the previous swing high here. And then it was only a short 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 hours total before this trade went completely against me and hit my stop. But ultimately, my target was just shy of the previous swing low area, in which I was anticipating price coming from this area where I entered all the way down here perhaps and creating maybe even a new swing low. You guys know I mentioned the ADR in my previous video. So I was looking at the ADR at this moment and it seemed to have a pretty accurate, not accurate, but like a pretty good projection towards the downside, still beyond this like swing low here. So I figured that lines up with this relatively harmonic sort of sequence. So that's kind of what made me take this trade. But there was some price action involved in which I seen the price come back to retest this level and then come back and break and create a new low after retesting and trading away from it. So that signified in my mind that this trend could still be inactive or still be active towards the downside. But obviously, as you could tell, the market did go against me before coming back down here, just maybe 10 pips of my take profit area before shooting and rocketing back up, retesting almost maybe 10 pips or so away from that previous level here, and then going on to rally again towards the downside. Obviously, as I mentioned in some of my previous videos, we never beat ourselves up about, the trades that we miss out on. Obviously, I would have loved to have gotten in here. It was a textbook, easy, simple play. You guys know I love these trades. And then I would also have loved to maybe even get back in on the retracement here, but I was simply not available while these trades were actually happening. So those kind of things, you just work with what you got. I still seen a pretty good opportunity. What I seen was a pretty good opportunity here, and it offered me a 2-to-1 ratio, I believe, still with this trade. Let me see. Yeah, so it was about a 2.2, 2.25 to 1 ratio, which I thought was pretty solid. And then it was definitely it was looking pretty good at first for the first 4, maybe 5 hours, but once it stopped breaking and trading lower and it went stagnant, it definitely was a signal that, you know what, maybe this market isn't quite ready to drop yet. So there was that. But I did have another 2 trades in the USDCHF. So let's go ahead and get into that. As you can tell, this market's actually still moving as we speak, but I did close out this market already for profits, as you guys seen in the beginning of this video. Um, this trade was relatively simple as well. We could just go back a couple days. The market has been downtrending for several days. One second, I'm plugging my computer. Cool. All right. So as you guys can tell, the market has been downtrending for a couple of days now, but it's been moving in a relatively nice stair-step pattern, which is where the market drops and then goes slightly stagnant for some time, maybe retraces up slightly, and then comes back down ultimately and goes for another rally. The market has done this several times so far. So what I'd seen was a nice range developing at the bottom of one of these rallies, creating a first support and then bouncing off it, creating a second support. And then I entered here on the third one after we got a significant sign that this level seems to be holding and price seems to be finally retracing, creating a small range. I seen that this level was the last level where price had broke and went stagnant to, so I marked that level here as a potential retracement towards the upside, level of support, or whether it was small or significant then. I was looking to see if it was going to be significant again, in which price seems to have retraced to it, and that was actually my take profit area. Now, if we zoom in a little bit, you guys can tell that this was actually a 2-to-1 ratio. Ultimately, although I didn't catch one of these larger swings on this specific trade, I was still able to capitalize and get a nice risk to reward ratio, even within this smaller range here. And it more than made up for my previous loss on the CADJPY as well. Now, this is a nice price action trade. It wasn't necessarily a breakout of a zone, and it was actually quite counter trend to the main downtrend that's in place currently. But I did do it based on knowing that this level was a support level that was at least holding, and I was able to set a relatively tight stop, given that the market structure was offering that. I figured it was a solid opportunity to take, and since the risk to reward was still favorable, I figured as long as my risk management is good, I was willing to take that and accept that risk. And as you can tell, it paid off. And ultimately, I'm sure there was more moves that might have occurred, but these are just the two that I was focusing on. Not for any specific reason outside of the market structures looked nice to me. I did make a video on how to find markets to trade for the day and how to like put together watch lists. So if you guys are interested in finding out how to find your trades, I would highly suggest you guys watch that video. Um, at any rate, that's going to be it for this one, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in, tapping in. Um, Stay tuned. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, drop them below. And if you guys want to stay updated on my next video, definitely subscribe. And see you guys later. Stay profitable, stay Happy, stay positive. I'll check you out.